It's Good News Week.
Welcome to Good News Week. And the big news? Cake. Who doesn't love cake? It's as Australian as cake. But the great Aussie tradition of bringing a cake for someone's birthday is under threat, with more and more restaurants charging cakeage. Even worse, it applies to screw-top cakes as well. Restaurateurs are trying to discourage people from bringing their own food to the restaurant because it's a restaurant. But some places are charging $6.50 a head. It's outrageous. With that cakeage money, a table of 10 could buy a child in Africa enough food for a year. Or another cake. Sadly, it doesn't stop at cakeage. Prostitutes are now charging nakeage, fakeage and wakey-wakeage, hands off snakeage. In Iran, the country's top prosecutor has called for restrictions on Western toys like Barbie and Batman, saying they have a destructive effect on the country's youth. What's wrong with Batman? He keeps the streets safe, looks after orphans and uses his money for good. And what's the batsuit if not a full-body burqa for blokes? And, like Iranian women, Barbie is highly valued too, as long as she stays in a box. Oh, yeah. But if they really want to promote the country's revolutionary values, all they need's an ad where Barbie loads her camper van with fertiliser and drives it straight into her dream house. Yeah, we're back! In yet another example of Beijing's iron fist, Australia may not be allowed to bring its own food to the Olympics. No Tim Tams, no VB, no Vegemite. We might actually win something. And all the fortune cookies are filled with sledges. You're a weakling little running dog. You're going to be thrashed by a small dark stranger. The glorious homeland respectfully shagged your mother. In fact, all teams have been banned from eating foreign food, except the Tibetan team, who were just banned from eating. Thank you. Oh. Only 8 more sleeps till the federal budget. And if that's not exciting enough, tickets are now available for the government's budget presentation dinner at only $2,000 a pop. And if you're wondering, that pop is the sound a honeymoon makes when it's over. Feisty today. A top ticket guarantees pre-dinner drinks, a minister at your table, a breakfast briefing the next day and a doggy bag in case you can't finish the entire minister. In Wollongong, of course, for $2,000 you can get a blowjob and put up a block of flats. And that is the good news.
It's Good News Week. Someone dropped the bomb somewhere, contaminating the atmosphere and blackening the sky. It's Good News Week. Someone found a way to give the rotting dead a will to live, go on and never die. It's Good News Week. It's Good News Week.
Thank you. Good evening. Tonight, after looking at pictures of the midget naked and plastered...
Don't talk about yourself like that.
We have the blushing bride, Claire Hooper. The San Francisco stand-up Australia has a major crush on Arj Barker. And from the UK, co-founder of Big Audio Dynamite, filmmaker and author of the new book, Culture Clash, Dread Meets Punk Rockers, the legend, Don Letts. And they're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and binge-drinking with the brute strength of Mikey Robbins. From the Fairfax media empire, the princess of the press gallery, Annabel Crabb. And at the Comedy Store in Sydney all this week, our special friend from Canada, Steve Patterson. So, Don.
Me, yep,
Yeah.
that's me, I'm here.
How long have you been in the country?
I got into Toronto about 12 hours ago.
12 hours ago. You know
Yeah,
you're in
and I'm
Australia.
feeling
bloke.
it.
Yeah. Haggard, tired, want a nap.
You're
Sun-
full of compliments today, aren't you?
Sun on the back of the legs apparently is good, if you're feeling a bit of
Really?
jet
Well, they
lag.
gave me something in the back room there that pepped me up.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm staying away from that.
Well, good to have you on. And Steve.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, how are you feeling? You comfortable?
Great. I love Australia. They're like Canadians, but tanned. I love it here. Sorry I'm so pale.
You might be able to work on that tan this week.
Is that an offer? I'll take it. I'm not bitten.
I like where we're going already.
Obviously, you didn't get the sun on the back of the legs in the dressing room.
The sun on the back of the legs.
Yeah, the special treat that...
Oh, I thought
no.
you were in my dressing room for a second.
I can categorically deny that, I think.
I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
I got the feeling there's a little bit of sexual frisson happening over there.
I'm doing that right now.
All right, let's get on with it. What's the story? Claire, Arj, Don, come out fighting.
Okay.
Wrestling, Ultimate Battle. Jason Hughes.
We've just had
Farming
local elections. They're trying to settle the local election.
In the traditional way.
It looked like some form of martial art or boxing or something.
I think the English have got bored with snooker and darts, and they're getting their kids to beat the hell out of each other. And that's the new sport in the UK.
Very close, very close. You want to add anything, Claire, as team captain?
Oh.
Do you know the
No.
sport?
Is it kickboxing?
It is kickboxing?
It is kickboxing, isn't it? And is the story, like Don said, is it just the increase in popularity as a children's sport in Britain? Is that what the story was this week?
I believe so. Like I say, snooker, darts ain't cutting it. Kids beating
Yeah.
the hell out of each other, that's the way to go.
I think it's young.
And it's cheap.
Young children being bred. Yeah, but you don't have to pay them as much. They're only kids.
Half price. They get in for half price.
Yeah, they're training young kids to fight, to become kickboxers, which is totally out of line because young kids should be throwing rocks. That's how.
At the grown-ups.
They do have it, ladies and gentlemen. 10 points. One of the fastest growing sports for British children is Thai kickboxing, with kids as young as 4 climbing into the ring to bash each other senseless. There's even a TV documentary called Strictly Baby Fight Club. The first rule of Baby Fight Club is you don't talk about Baby Fight Club. The second rule is you also don't talk about Uncle Bad Touch Club. The doco features a couple who actually named their child Ty after the style of kickboxing, saying their dream was for young Ty to become a world champion. They admitted they didn't know what Ty's dream was, but didn't really care. His dream is probably something like a nice soft field far away with buttercups and kittens where no one has to fight to the death!
No, they really want a pair of steel toe cap boots. That's what they really want.
Normally kickboxing is done with barefoot.
I know,
bare
but the
feet.
kids, they fancy the steel toe cap boots. It's more effective.
I like that.
All over in a second.
What is the difference between Thai kickboxing and normal kickboxing anyway? Is it just like normal kickboxing but with more coriander?
Yeah.
I thought in Thai boxing, just no one won or lost. Good night, everybody.
Steve Patterson, ladies and gentlemen. Did you want to say something? Throw something in the ring?
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with the Asian kickboxing scene is, half an hour later, you want to kickbox again.
I'm going to end it there and move it on. Mikey, Annabel, Steve, a little help with this, please.
Okay, mate. Oh, that's a baby.
Cops bringing yet more children out of Austrian farmhouse.
That's
That's posted, yeah.
right.
Madonna strikes again. Kills another child. Right.
I believe the woman in the middle, the middle segment, was getting into a US what mail people have, a postal van.
Postal van?
I've been to the States and I didn't know that's how they delivered babies, but...
You're quite protected in Canada.
Yeah,
with sex education.
we do it the traditional way. We adopt.
It's a lovely idea, mind you, though. Your letterbox does get dreadful stretch marks around.
You can get that fixed, though.
Yeah, you can just Anyway, no, actually, it's a much nicer story than what we've been rabbiting on about.
Do you know what it is?
Yes,
Oh, brilliant. I'm glad somebody
good.
does, because I was starting to just think, well...
An American postal worker was basically, if I remember correctly, was fronting up to an apartment block to pop a letter in, and then sort of heard a noise and looked up and caught a baby.
Get out. What, fell out of the window?
That's apparently...
Or was thrown.
Maybe the
Fell
stork
out.
dropped it, boys and girls.
He was an ex-football player. After he caught the baby, he spiked it in victory.
They have it, ladies and gentlemen. 10 points to start the game. A US postal worker is being hailed as a hero after catching a 1-year-old girl who fell out of a second-story window. Lisa Harrell was delivering mail when she noticed a baby in a window above her. The next thing she knew, the little girl had fallen into her arms. But a witness claims Lisa was down there for ages, waving a rattle, shouting, "Jump! Jump! Jump! Come on, little one!" Jump. The mother stressed that this has never happened before. Normally her daughter can balance for hours on what she called the naughty ledge. No charges of negligence are being filed against the mum, although she will be charged postage for a small package by air. So after one aerodynamic round of Good News Week, the Hooper team are on 10 points. The Robbins team, 10 points.
It's Good News Week. It's Good News Week.
During the break, as we woke up in a park with Todd McKenney, both teams were given 3 clues to a recent strange but true story. Hooper, Barker and Letts have sweatbands.
Yeah.
Physical.
Actually, you do look a bit like Livy.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Never take your husband boating.
A bag of illegal items.
This is the one they gave me. I had my own too, but it's what is spray adhesive, scissors, and knitting needles. Do we make jokes about it now or wait?
Whenever the mood takes you, I think.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about this, Paul, but it looks like a... You know, maybe if this were in the hands of MacGyver, he could make a bloody nuclear power plant. That's like more than he needs. MacGyver joke, yes! That's what I'm talking about!
And we have this song.
I went to a place where every white face is an invitation to robbery. Sitting here in my safe European, don't want to go back there again.
Nice boy.
With apologies to Joe Strummer.
And Robbins, Crabb and Patterson got a veil.
Every week.
Don't let Kermit see you wearing that.
Actually, it's funny because I'm trying to think, who would I know who could be Kermit? Who's short and sings in a high-pitched, annoying voice?
An inflatable friend.
I understand that an enormous amount of searching...
Oh, what is that?
To
Oh, it's the-
Flexible.
Shot.
Excuse me. To find an inflatable friend that looks so much like Barack Obama. Right.
There's so many things to say. And finally, we have this song.
Soaring high in the skies, he may be small but only in size. Astro Boy, he is brave and gentle and wise. Stronger than all the rest, this tiny robot will pass the test. All villains fear him, so we cheer him, the amazing Astro Boy.
I always thought our anthem sucked, but yours is even worse.
That was beautiful. That you sound just like Celine Dion there.
That's nice. That's nice. I wish she was actually
you
on the
can have
Titanic. Yeah, I said it.
We'll come back to all that great fun a little later. Whew. Now to a game called Border Insecurity. This week, the Immigration Minister announced plans for a review of the citizenship test, including the questions aspiring Australians have to answer. We have a couple of aspiring Australians with us tonight, so we thought we'd road test a few of the new questions on them. Don Letts, are you ready to become an Australian citizen?
Okay, yeah, I'll have a
come
go.
on, give it a crack. Will you accompany me down the track? On the spot.
No, Don. Then we'll let you go fruit picking.
Start with the one next to you.
Are you ready?
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay.
Do they let
Question.
people like me in? I mean, there's the only man of colour in the house. I'm feeling a little nervous here.
I don't blame you.
Okay.
Question 1. A wombat is A, a marsupial, B, an implement for playing wom, or C, wanted for rape in New Zealand.
A wombat. That was your last Prime Minister, wasn't it? He looked like a wombat. It's a marsupial.
He has it, ladies and gentlemen, go completely crazy. You got to ask the question.
They're signalling you over there.
Like, stop talking. You're sneaky. You're quick. Ned Kelly was A, a bushranger, B, a human metal hybrid from the future, or C, a mailbox that tasted blood and turned evil.
Ned Kelly was Australia's first rock and roll star.
I like your attitude. I'm going to give you 2 points for that, even though you didn't bother with a multiple choice. Where should you shove your foreign customs?
You really want to know the answer to that?
A, up your arse, B, up your date, or C, up their kazali?
You said it, man. A. I'll go with up your A.
Up your arse. Okay.
I said A.
Oh, you didn't want to say arse? You wouldn't use such
I've got
a...
better vocabulary than that.
Oh, what would
I'm
you-
from England.
Okay, what would you say?
A.
Hey. And finally, our land is girt by A, C, B, A, or C, B's.
What? Say that again in English.
Our land is girt by A, C.
Our land is what?
Girt.
Good?
Girt.
Girt?
It means to surround moistly.
Is that what they told you? All right, yeah.
Our land is girt by A, C, B, A, or C, B's.
AC.
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 He's right, ladies and gentlemen, eh? Beautiful work, Don.
You just got me here to make fun of the POM, haven't you?
No, not just
You're
a
getting
pom.
your own back on the POMs.
There's no way we could do that for 200 years of servitude to that evil, monstrous race that you'll come from. Colonial outburst, nothing but a pissing pot for the English. And they still come here and buy our land and go and live in Margaret River. And now for the special 10-point bonus question. How would you, as a citizen, make Australia a better place?
More art and culture, less sport and meat. Clint, if you could move your country a bit closer to ours, I wouldn't feel so bad now.
Really?
With the jet lag.
The jet lag's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you what, a bit of sun on the back of the knees is good.
But dude, look at me.
Also,
I'm good
Steve
here.
and I are going for a tan a bit later, and I reckon you could get in on a bit of that action as well.
Damn right.
Did I win?
With a score of 20 points, you've reached the level of Christmas Island Santa Claus. Don Letts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Up next, more border insecurity.
It's good news week. It's good news week.
Steve Patterson, are you ready to embrace the wide brown land?
Are we still talking about suntanning together?
Comfy?
My wide brown land is nicely settled.
It is indeed.
Thank you, Paul. This is awkward.
Question 1. The Tasmanian devil is A, the world's largest carnivorous marsupial, B, the nemesis of Tasmanian Jesus, I like that one, or C, Bob Brown.
I love the Jesus answer. I want to go with that. I have to ask my teammates who Bob Brown is.
He's a politician. Lovely man. Nice man. Lovely. He's
Like saving forests and stuff.
yeah.
So it's not Bobby Brown. Like Whitney
Wouldn't that
Houston.
be great?
I have no idea why our Bob Brown is not married to Whitney Houston. Never going to happen.
I will answer A, the marsupial answer.
You are right.
Nice.
Steve. Frank and throw it. What did the swag man put in his tucker bag near the billabong? A, a jumbuck, B, a coolabah tree, or C, a Pokemon? Are any of those terms familiar to you? Swag man, tucker bag, billabong? Tucker bag is causing humour.
Tucker bag is when you buy budgie smugglers that are too small, right? Yeah, I've learned a little Aussie. I don't know what a single word in there was except the word what. So, I don't know. Guys, help, please.
Well, if you're near a billabong, there must be something that's come down to drink at the billabong.
He doesn't even know what a jumbuck is. It's an unfamiliar term.
Okay, see, when a swagman and a jumbuck love each other very much, they may jump into a tucker bag together.
And that's what you call a Pokemon.
I totally forget the question, so...
Hey, just go A.
A?
Yes, 2 points! Far lap was A, a condition caused by too many lap dancers,
Nice.
B, a horse, or C, Far Q's brother?
Well, I've had the lap dancing problem, and it's not called far lap. It's called no cash and clinic. It's hyphenated, and the far Q.
Sorry?
C, far Q.
Oh, yeah, pull back on that one. Oh, should I go? I don't know the change. It's got the terrain's not good.
I'll say A.
No. Hey, why don't you phone a friend and say B?
B?
B!
Got it. This is just like a Canadian game show. You can't lose.
You can't lose.
Answer whatever you want.
We really want to get you into the country.
I really want in.
The animals on the Australian coat of arms are A, a kangaroo and emu, B, fornicating, or C, available in smaller pieces in the gift shop. Ooh.
You guys actually cut up your national animals? Is that
Oh,
true?
yes. Yeah. The kangaroo's testicles make a lovely snuff pouch. You wouldn't think there'd be much call for snuff pouches, but it doesn't stop the buggers lobbing them off.
This is Steve. It's not as bad as what you do to your national animals. I've seen those baby seal videos.
No, actually...
No, they got beavers.
Actually, our national animal is the beaver, so if we cut it up and ate it, we'd all be eating beaver, which would be great. So I'd say the answer is A, kangaroo and the other thing.
Steve has it, ladies and gentlemen.
Good.
The emu is a large flightless bird.
Thank you, Paul. It's gonna come in handy later.
Sir Donald Bradman holds a record for A, Test cricket runs, B, drug possession, or C, stained posters on John Howard's wall. Don't give it away.
That last one was dirty. I don't really know who Sir Donald Bradman was.
Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, he used to take off his pants and make that sound. He's obviously a
Sporting hero.
a cricketer.
Yes.
Right. We would call them grasshopperers in Canada. It's a little variation of the sport. I will go with A.
A.
Everyone makes fun of me when I say A all the time, but it actually just wanted me to show.
All A. And for the final 10-point bonus question, how would you, as a citizen, make Australia a better place?
Well, Paul, there's nothing wrong with Australia. This is the best country I've ever been to, maybe in a tie with Canada, so all I would do is move Canada over so we could have fun together.
And with a score of 20 points, you have reached the level of federal police target. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Patterson. No one's going to lose today. It's just wrong when people lose.
So you see, like, if Canada came over here, it was really close when we were playing with you, then New Zealand would find out we were cheating.
The Immigration Minister has called for a complete review of the citizenship test because some migrants admitted they found it overwhelming and frightening. Chris Evans says it's important the test isn't just there to stop people becoming Australian. And it has to be fixed soon because Kevin Rudd is running out of Australians to put on committees.
Huh.
The Hoopers now on 30 points. The Robins is 30 points. Up next, a brand new game. We call this game What Next? Claire, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem played host to a bunch of Greek and Armenian priests and worshippers recently. What happened next? They got drunk and left a terrible mess. They crashed their minivan into the Wailing Wall. Or they had a brawl.
Look, I don't know what happened, but I think, like, the number of holy peoples there, I don't think it would be possible to get drunk on the communion wine. Like, there was just way too many people to share it between, right?
That's logical.
And,
Could have been a strong brew.
yeah,
If Jesus was Irish, maybe.
I like the idea of them crashing the minivan. But what?
That'd be impossible to fit that many guys into a van unless they were bloody
Yeah,
clowns.
Exactly. They're priests, not clowns. Ha-ha, saw through that one.
Hey, way to go, Sherlock.
I guess the last one's plausible, because I reckon, like, when you're all dressed up like that, somebody's going to go, you're wearing a dress, and then the other dude will be like, no, you're wearing a dress, and then they'll just punch on! I mean, that happens all the time at religious gatherings.
Let's have a look then.
Hey, Beardy's having a go.
That's the closest thing I've seen to ice hockey since I've been here, so cool.
I love how they're all clubbing each other with fronds. You know, that's just not very deadly.
Imagine going to casualty. Oh, man, nah. Nurse more front wounds.
With fronds like that, who needs enemies?
Annabel Crabb.
I will be here all night.
A good old-fashioned punch-up. And it went for ages because both sides kept turning the other cheek. The all-in brawl erupted after Armenian clergy pushed a Greek priest to the ground and kicked him. What followed was perhaps the largest example of mass beard-pulling in the history of religious infighting. Some of the more excited worshippers also threw doves, incense burners and bits of an old bearded guy they found in a box. Mikey, Western Australian Liberal leader Troy Buswell...
Oh, it had to come to this, didn't it?
...had to call a rather embarrassing press conference this week. What happened next? He had to turn away and have a little cry. He called Brendan Nelson Brenda. Or he snapped the brass strap of a female journo.
Or he went to Freedom Furniture and blew his pants off. So many chairs to sniff.
Yeah, I think in the interests of international cooperation, we should probably explain this one to Steve, because...
I hope it's the bra strap, because that's what I would have done.
No, this is the West Australian opposition leader who, as you wrote so brilliantly the other day, was done for sniffing seats. I was sniffing one colleague's seat.
He sniffed one seat.
You sniffed one seat.
This won't make sense to you, of course, Steve, because you're from Canada, where the politicians are all incredibly politically correct and beautiful. And here we do have politicians that occasionally sniff seats for no particular reason.
No.
That's the weird thing about this whole scenario.
I'm from WA, and I'm just sick of people looking down on our ways. It's how we, it's how we make friends.
Actually, I believe his argument was in a previous life he was a dog. He burst into tears. He had a little cry. He turned his back and went... Weird. He had to hold back the sniffles.
The worst thing is, I mean, you can laugh, but he may lose his job over this. And,
May lose his seat.
very soon. And I mean, he thought it was a safe seat, so... But there is a lot of speculation that he was actually set up here and that he might be the stool pigeon for something.
Well, he started crying, but it turned out the guy who snipped it ate a lot of onions the night before. So.
It wasn't a guy, it was a woman.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
The strangest, weirdest sub-detail of this story is that his predecessor in the leadership was a guy called Paul Omaday, who was forced to resign from the deputy leadership in 2005, I think, because he accidentally shot his son's thumb off in a shooting accident while they were rabbiting.
And he could never hitchhike again.
No, but he...
Is Mr. Robbins right?
Look, there's a bench behind him.
Yes, the big, brave opposition leader was forced to admit that he sniffed the chair of a female staff member. When the story broke, Buswell immediately refused to stand down as Liberal leader. He said he'd sit down, but only if he could stand up again and sniff the chair. Some senior Liberals even rallied behind their leader, largely because they weren't game to rally in front of him. Shocking. This is shocking. It's upsetting. Over there, 48 points. Over there, 50 points. Stay tuned. Strange but True is next. This is Strange but True. Claire, Arj, Don, you had the sweatbands. That's very Charlie's Angel.
What about this? Pop!
You also had the bag of tricks.
All sorts of illegal stuff there.
Yeah. And that song.
I went to a place where every white face is an invitation to robbery. Sitting here in my safe European. Don't want to go back there again. That's good.
think what happened is somebody broke into an exercise studio in the 70s and tried to create wigs from human skulls by gluing the headband down to the head and then removing the hair. And then he was around the corner singing, and they're like, that sounds pretty good. It's, it was cool.
The first thing I thought about this story with the running gear and a bag of tricks and I don't want to go back there again was...
Running with the scissors, I should have known.
So I think it's got to be a plane story because of all the things you're not allowed to take on a plane. And I know because I tried to take knitting needles on a plane
Yes.
and they found me and there was trouble. And that scarf came completely undone because I had to throw the...
Damn the terrorists and whatever.
Look, quite frankly, you guys don't know. Paul, shoot this puppy.
No, I know. No, I do.
Come on, it does involve a plane, it does involve sweatbands.
So
What else is sweatbands useful? Maybe...
Thank you. It involves travel in a plane and items not allowed to travel. And yes, there was a man who tried to board a plane with not with sweatbands, with tennis rackets. And they were what he wasn't allowed to take on the plane. And I know you're not allowed to take baseball bats or skiing sticks, whatever those skiing sticks are. Or indeed, if you're a knife thrower, you're not allowed to take your sporting equipment.
That's it!
But...
No! You do have it, more or less.
But how does the lyric fit in, Paul?
It's European.
Just an excuse to make fun of me, I think.
Oh,
it had nothing to do with that.
Right, I see, European story.
Yeah. In Brussels, a man is suing the European Union after he was stopped from boarding a plane because his tennis rackets were deemed a security threat. While everyone knows Osama's a demon on the court, once you get him in a headband, tight white shorts... It's now been revealed that tennis rackets are on a secret EU list of items banned from aircraft. Although a complete list of potential weapons is easily accessible, it's called the dictionary. But attempts to hijack planes with tennis rackets invariably fail. After 3 games, players change ends, the pilots go back to the cockpit, and the crisis is over. Mikey, Annabel, Steve, you had the veil.
It is strangely appealing.
Last thing you think before you go to sleep at night, kids? This.
Yes, the inflatable friend.
And I'm going to put him here as long as you keep your hands off his tucker bag, Steve.
Nice, good callback.
And finally...
Hey, somebody...
Can we still? Is this still a PG show?
It's been tied in a knot.
He's been.
Do you know how many years of yoga you have to do that? Hey, you notice I took the veil off immediately.
And that song.
Soaring high in the skies, he may be small, but only in size. Astro Boy, he is brave and gentle and wise. Stronger than all the rest. I can't believe I checked out that doll's breast. All villains fear him, and so we cheer him. The amazing Astro Boy.
Yes, we have an answer.
Well, obviously, marriage, the veil is a metaphor, a clue for marriage.
Yep.
So Astro Boy, obviously, we're talking robotics. And I'm thinking...
Right.
Cartoon.
So is someone marrying a robot?
I love... There's a sort of a potential, I suppose, for robot marriage in the future. There's bound to be.
What does the doll have to do with...
Yes, they reckon that they're getting robots, that the robots are so good that they will actually, you will be able to, like, have a
robot spouse.
A robot spouse.
Which will be like this little companion that we have behind our chair here.
Is my wife gone to bed? Bring it on.
I'm trying to figure out where the dude full of air fits in, other than just...
I think he's a symbol. I think he's a symbol for...
Oh, I know what he's a symbol of, King's Cross.
You're a big fan of robots yourself, Steve?
Yeah. I love... In Canada, we made the robotic arm for a space shuttle, true story, so that the shuttle can pleasure itself. Yeah.
Well done.
True story. I didn't make it up. Google it.
They do have it, ladies and gentlemen. Horror. According to a new book, by the middle of next century, humans will be getting married to robots. Marriage, holding hands, walking along a beach, riding its back as it crushes the weak, puny humans. Yes. I'm not sure about the sex part, though. Surely the point of a dildo is that you don't have to talk to it. Unless it corners you on the red carpet at the Logies. And they do have a tendency to disrupt intimate moments by asking, what is love? The Big Bang, Dirty Sexy Fast Money is up next.
It's Good News Week.
It's wildly inaccurate. It's called Dirty Sexy Fast Money. And it starts now. Which old fart rock star has just done the world an extraordinary favour by announcing he has no more plans to perform or record? I can feel it coming.
Phil Collins!
Thank you very much! In Brazil, a Catholic priest is missing after doing what?
He went ballooning with balloons tied to a chair.
You're right, he tied 100 helium balloons to his chair, took off, floated away.
Did he snip the chair first?
Who's on the cover of the Clash album, Black Market Clash?
You want to get this one?
Moi.
Moi, sorry, Don Letts is the... In France, a 64-year-old woman has been sentenced to 12 years in jail for castrating her partner. What did she originally claim happened to the genitals?
It came off in her hand.
What?
A dog ate it?
Yeah, in fact, you're right. A dog bit them off and ate them. In New York, a Japanese health spa is charging $230 for a geisha facial. What is it?
Oh, God.
Come on. Come on.
You to answer that.
Somebody sits on your face and they tell you how much you weigh?
$230 for a geisha facial. What is it?
They put stuff on your face, and then
White stuff. What's the white
no,
stuff?
but that only costs $30.
Is it crushed pearls?
You're close. You're close. Everyone's close. Nightingale droppings.
Oh, I knew that, actually.
Jeez, how do they keep this still in the room? I'm going to go and collect them.
I think they collect them. They don't get the one nightingale and hope it just manages to shit in the right place.
Well, for $230, you'd want to. I want my nightingale shit fresh.
In Ecuador, a female politician wants what written into the country's constitution?
We're near the equator.
Love?
Almost. On the
Peace?
right track.
The fact that you sing like a nightingale?
And I shit like one too.
Togetherness, I don't know.
The pursuit of sexual happiness for women. Come on, Ecuador! That's what
That could be their slogan. Come on,
Come on, Ecuador! So, in the Stoush tonight, Claire Hooper, Arj Barker and Don Letts scored a humongous 62 points.
Oh, wow.
Squashed by Mikey Robbins, Annabel, Crabb and Steve Patterson on 64 points. Remember our website, 10.com.au/GNW, or go to tvweek.com and start voting for next year's Logies now. So we say thanks for everything, Albert Hoffman. And leave you with the good news for the week ahead. An inquiry into the Indigenous emergency response will report that response to the Indigenous emergency has been delayed due to the inquiry into it. On Friday, there'll be Idol auditions in Melbourne. I hope he does White Wedding. In Sydney, a conference on happiness and its causes will be busted by the police, who will arrest all the happy folk and confiscate 3 kilos of causes. And in Western Australia, Troy Buswell won't be leader of the Liberal Party, but will be accepted as a backbencher because he'll show the bench the loving it deserves.